my co-pilot here, Dan, working away. What's up, Dan?
Woohoo! Rocking and rolling.
Walking and rolling. Yeah, all right. So we're prepping the bottom skins. Did the same thing we did with the top one. Got our line down here, glued the bottom part, and then put the pencil line and did a perfect cut. So we have a nice seam up here to follow. Just kind of gonna let this one dry for a minute, and we'll flip it over and put it on the table and pull it across the bottom. So this one here we've marked with our pencil. Dan and I glued it, and as soon as that dries, we'll go ahead and cut that. We put glue on the pencil line here because when you cut it with the polytack on it, it won't fray out on you. Okay, on to the next step. What do you think, Lucy? All right. Okay, I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you the underside of the wing. We got it flipped over to do the bottom half of the skin. Good opportunity to check, the last chance to check and make sure everything's done right and in the right spot and there's no foreign objects in there. So we're kind of waiting for the leading edge glue to dry on that wing over there, then we'll flip that wing over too. We've got our tapes in here, all prepped, ready to stretch and cover the bottom. Thanks, Dan.
Woohoo!
Time for another update. Should be a quick one. As you saw in the time lapse, we flipped these things over and got the bottom skins on. So yeah, pretty cool. So now all the fabric is on the airplane wings and then cut off where it's not needed. We did the bottom a lot like we did the top, where we marked the line, glued the one edge, and then cut a perfect straight line, and then glued it back, wrapped it around. The bottom actually I think was harder than the top. It was kind of tricky to get everything lined up just right. You got a double cut here because it wraps around, and you got to get this seam right. It looks bubbly, but this is actually all smooth. It's ironed out nice and smooth. It's just kind of where the glue's rolled in there. And then you got to go into the flap and the aileron cove again. And those didn't turn out perfect, but they're really nice, and I'm actually pretty excited and pretty proud of them. So that'll work out good. But yeah, I got all the wingtips finished up, obviously, and that's the aileron pulley cut out, and fuel tanks cut out. I think I already showed you the aileron in the previous one. The fuel tank bay here. This was kind of nerve-wracking because this was pre-glued right here. This is just temporarily holding actually the bottom here. But anyway, this is pre-glued here. Put the fabric over, and then you activate the glue with MEK. And since I've never done this before, it was kind of just, okay, I hope that glue is going to hold when I cut this, because there's a lot of tension. This whole stretch right here of this fabric is being held by that glue line. And it's not the final tautness because it's the 250 degree. I'm gonna shrink it again at 350 and it'll be much tighter. But anyway, these aren't here to hold the fabric. This fabric, when you cut this, you roll it under and glue it underneath, and that's just holding those kind of in place, because you can't really get in there. It's really tight with everything. So that's a little trick that they showed you online. And then obviously cut around the rest of the tank, and there's a depression here where it's glued in because this metal is gonna sit flush. There's some holes here, some nut plates, some screws that'll go through the tank lids that'll fit in here. And so we wanted to make sure we get those nice and pretty and in there, glued in. And this one's just cut off flush. So yeah, that's done on both sides. Really proud of that. Activated the light with the MEK for the glue that was pre-glued here, the pitot. We cut the jury strut holes with the soldering iron, like we showed you on the last video, and the main struts. And then these are glued as well. Excuse me, a little glue right here to hold that piece in. But yeah, coming along really well. Pretty exciting to see all the fabric on the wing. Got a lot of work ahead of us yet though. Every one of these ribs, see these holes, gets rivets. Every one of these holes gets rivets. So we're gonna tape. There's a piece of tape that goes over here, then rivets, and then a big wide piece of tape, and some layers of poly brush. So a lot more finish work to get going to get these wings in shape. Of course, there'll be patches and things around all the openings, and a bunch of patches on the bottom for inspection holes and things to get to, and finished tapes that go on every one of these seams gets a tape around the edges, around the lights, all that stuff. But coming along pretty well. Probably saw that 3-wheeler in the background. It's kind of a blast from the past. My uncle dropped that off today to me to help him get it running. Things like pristine. I don't think I've seen one this nice since I was a little kid. And if you're a child of the 80s, you probably think that's pretty cool. They're outlawed or illegal or whatever now, but yeah, 1985 Honda 250X in like showroom condition. I don't think there's too many of those anymore. Anyway, fires right up, runs great, pretty dang cool. So anyway, my kids probably get to play with that for a little bit until he's ready to pick it up. So anyway, thanks Uncle Fred, that's pretty sweet. All right, so on to the next step, looking pretty good.